Did you even consider buying a home anywhere in Frisco or the surrounding areas right now? I mean, mortgage rates are high, home prices are high. You would be crazy to buy a home right now, or would you? Turns out the current market does offer a few unique opportunities that we don't see very often. And in today's video, I'm going to dive into those and share those with you. We're going to talk through mortgage rates, home prices, and I'm going to let you know what these unique opportunities are. So stick with me as we dive into that right now. Hi, this is Andrew with the Andrew Smith team, eXp Realty here in Frisco. And my goal with these videos each and every week is to help anyone considering buying or selling a home make an informed decision. Cut through the confusion by providing clarity based on the latest data. Yes, I'll share some opinion and give you my thoughts, which you may or may not agree with. That's completely fine. But my goal, again, is not to convince you of anything whatsoever. It's simply to provide you with the information so that you can make the best decision for you and your family. So without further ado, let's talk about that. I mean, the market's changed substantially over the past year and a half. I think we can all agree with that. It was on an absolute, virtually vertical trajectory, which we all know wasn't sustainable. Things had to end, and they did, thankfully for everyone. But now we're left with a situation that, what do? Home prices are stubbornly high. You know, everyone keeps talking about the home prices are going to crash. Are they? I don't know. Neither does anybody else. They've been talking about home prices crashing since the onset of the pandemic, and it hasn't happened. And I'm going to share with you in just a few minutes on what the latest data is telling us to expect with home prices in the months and year ahead. And then what about those mortgage rates? You know, I, for one, was one of the ones predicting that mortgage rates would have fallen by now, and they haven't. They've remained stubbornly high. So where does that leave you? Affordability has become a challenge, and without a doubt, it has impacted the ability of many people to buy, the home that they qualified for and could get approved for buying just a year ago, year and a half ago, has changed substantially. So what does that mean for you? Should you buy? Should you rent? Should you stay where you are? And honestly, that really depends on your situation. So first and foremost, let's take a look at home prices. Let's start with home prices. Yes, home prices are high. And I've had many people call me over the past few weeks and say, we don't know what to do. Right now, with mortgage rates where they are, we're going to wait for home prices to fall. Or on the flip side of that, we're going to wait for mortgage rates to fall. Or ideally, you want mortgage rates and home prices to fall. But is that realistic? Is it going to happen? The honest answer is I don't know for sure. The data right now isn't indicating that we should expect any major changes, especially with regards to home prices in the near future. Now, out of the two, mortgage rates play a much bigger role with regards to home affordability than home prices do. In order for you to get the benefit of a home price drop, to put this in some sort of perspective that you can see, a 1% drop in a mortgage rate is equivalent to roughly 10% decline in home prices. I mean, right now, rates, depending on the day, we're looking at anywhere near 7.25, 7.4, right in there on average. So, the idea that rates are going to get back to 3 or 4% is not going to happen. It's just flat out not going to happen. There is nothing anywhere to indicate that that would happen unless there is some worldwide cataclysmic event or meltdown that we don't know about right now. The idea has that mortgage rates are expected to fall. It was expected that they'd be in the sixes by the end of this year and then well into the fives next year. But the latest meeting of the Federal Reserve seemed to throw cold water on all of that. The Fed, in their statement, their policy statement, indicated that we're going to be in this high rate environment for some time to come. So If you're waiting for mortgage rates to fall, you may be waiting for a really long time. And eventually, somewhere around 5.25 to 5.5% is what I am hearing as the latest projections from most of the experts on what a normal rate environment will be going forward. So, with that in mind, what do you do? Do you wait for home prices to fall? Well, again, as I mentioned, home prices would have to fall substantially in order to offset the increase in mortgage rates. I'm going to share my screen with you now and just show you one quick chart. All right, what we're looking at here is the median list price in Frisco. And I know what you're thinking, Andrew, that's list prices. List prices don't tell me anything. Well, actually, they do. Yes, we can look at the sales price data, but the sales prices, when that gets reported in the media, what you see, that information's a couple of months old. This is far more accurate. This is from the weekly market report that I put out. There's a link to it in the description below. This is published each and every week, and you can look up any city or zip code of interest to you and get this exact same data. And the reason that we're looking at list prices is list prices kind of give us an indication of where home prices are heading. And here's why. Very few sellers, especially in today's environment, put their homes on the market to test the market, just kind of see what happens. People listing their homes today need to sell. They're people that have an absolute need to sell. And there's very, very few that are testing the market overall. Based on the latest data, homes right now are selling for 98.2% of list price. So you can see that the discount from list price, and that's original list price, right? So you can see that with that in mind, homes are not selling at a big discount. So that means when a seller meets with an agent and they're discussing pricing, they're looking at all of the latest data and they're putting their home on the market at a price that they believe it's going to sell for or very close to that. I can tell you right here in my own neighborhood, there's been several homes over the last 30 days that have sold at or above their actual list price. So those things are still happening. So what we're looking at right here is the average list price going back over the entire year. Here we are in January. This was January 6th, and you can see that the average list price at that point was $722, $954. This is a very seasonal curve. It's following along right here. It gets into March, and then we start our run up as we do every spring, the busiest season. We peak in the summer, later in the summer, and then prices always come down. They follow a seasonal trend in the fall. So here we are. This is as of September 22nd, and you can see the 90-day average right now is running at 771 compared to 722 at the beginning of the year. So as you can see, even as this trends down, the chances of it dropping below where we were in January is very, very slim. These prices right here in September, we're nearly in October. So you got to think somebody puts their home on the market, it goes under contract in the next couple of weeks. The title time frame or closing time frame is 30 to 45 days. These homes are going to be closing in November, December. This is giving us a good idea of where our prices are going to be to close out the year. So as you could see by that, the chances of prices drastically dropping in the first quarter of next year or shortly thereafter, that there's just nothing in the data to show that right now. So what do you do? Well, here's that unique opportunity I was telling you about is right now, buyer activity is definitely lower, but we're in a very unique situation here in Frisco. I mean, just look around. Dirt is being moved everywhere. There's all kinds of cranes. Office towers are being built. Hospitals are being built. There is lots and lots of development going on. To think that prices here are going to suddenly nosedive is just not realistic. There is way too much economic activity and growth in this area, regardless of what goes on in some of the other states or areas around us. We're a little bit insulated. I'm not saying that, if the rest of the country gets sick, we're not going to have some sniffles or catch a cold. I'm not saying that at all. But I am saying the idea that we're going to see 10, 15, 20% price declines is just not very realistic from my perspective, based upon all the activity and what I'm seeing right now. But as I mentioned just a minute ago, mortgage rates impact affordability a lot more than home prices do, which gives us an opportunity right now with regards to especially new construction. The new home builders know this. And what has happened over the last 2 to 3 weeks, last month, is that the new construction communities, a lot of the builders have started to incentivize by no longer offering temporary rate buy downs, but permanent rate buy downs in many cases. What does that mean? Well, that means that you could go into a new home community and you could actually buy one of their homes, lock in a price now. And if it's going to be a home that's done this year, that's the ones that they're basically offering the incentive on. I just helped someone lock in a 5.25% 30-year fixed rate mortgage, fixed for 30 years at 5.25. That's the type of rate that we're hoping to get back to for the long term. And we got it today. Other builders right now are offering 4.99 on select homes. Another builder just came out yesterday and they've changed it around. They're offering 5.99% 30-year fixed on homes that are going to be completed and moved in by middle of December. There's another builder that's kind of doing a mixture of both of the buy down and the permanent rate discount. They're offering 3.99% for the first year, 4.99% for the second year, and 5.99% fixed for years 3 through 30. Those opportunities are not going to last forever, and they are available right now. If you'd like information on any of those communities, or if you think that there's something there that may be of interest to you, please don't hesitate to reach out. Contact information is directly below. I've also got my phone number that you can call or text coming up on the screen, and let's talk about it. Let's see if that makes sense for you, because as we continue to move forward, even now, you may have seen that all of the expert forecasts out there with regards to home prices over the next year or two have all been revised. There really aren't any of them forecasting declines anymore. They're all forecasting prices to continue to go up. So again, that's just something to keep in mind. I've got a link to that video directly below as well that talks about that in more detail with those latest expert forecasts. So again, hopefully this information helps you. And if you have questions about buying or selling a home in Frisco or the surrounding areas, want to discuss this in more detail, I'd be more than happy to talk to you about it. Never an obligation. Please feel to reach out, book a call with me, and let's see how I can help you make the decision that's best for you and your family.